Hello, hello there, guys. We are going to be going into this one very shortly. It is Bax versus Royals here on Overpass. And what are your initial thoughts going into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously seen some really exciting games from the SCL already, and I feel like we're starting to come to maybe just past that halfway mark. But these teams, or at least for Bags, certainly not there yet. There's 1-0, only played one game, and Fred, it was a 16-0 against Toxic World. That's pretty ridiculous. On the other hand, Royals having a really tough time at things. 0-4. Things really need to change because they don't really have much of a response. And this would be a great game. This would be a necessary game for them to win.
Yeah, and I think as well, Royals definitely a side that I think a lot of people, when they saw Royals had joined kind of the SCL, I think we're expecting a lot more from them. Obviously, they kind of just got, I believe they just got invited to the Challenger Division, kind of because of their prowess that they've shown in previous events and kind of previous leagues. But straight away this round, similarly to their previous games in the season, isn't going perfectly. Just Swaggy remaining. Was the only one able to find a kill here for Royals. But you mentioned that game with Bax, 16-0. It was against Toxic World. They're a side that have been in this kind of top division for quite some time here. Always kind of lingering around. Obviously, I believe they got themselves either to playoffs or they kept themselves in either way in that last season. But, you know, Toxic World is certainly a team not to scoff at, and you're never really going to be expecting them losing a 16-0. So it's clear to see that this backside is certainly coming with the fire. I feel like this is obviously a very important game for Royals as well, because realistically, we're saying, you know, we're going to be expecting a 5-3 record to get yourself to playoffs, but I think some teams might be able to go in 4-4, but I feel like round difference would take a fair bit of an important factor in that. But yeah, I think we need to see more from Royals here, potentially to salvage their season. But
I mean, you've got to think, Fred. Like, you've mentioned it a couple of times. It's top 16 in this league that make it to playoffs. I forgot exactly how many we have in the Challenger Division, but there's a decent amount. It's around that 40, 35 mark. There's also people who get relegated, though, but there is an in-between between playoffs and relegation that potentially that's where Royals are going to need to try to find themselves. Maybe playoffs is too far gone now, but staying in the division certainly isn't, so that's got to be their hope.
you know, I feel like, you know, they've still got somewhat of a chance. Obviously, you know, the bottom 16 is the bottom 16 teams go down. Bottom 8, I really don't know. I feel like, you know, we never really truly know how many teams will get relegated.
I think it's the bottom. I want to say it's the bottom 8, but it could be the bottom 16.
Potentially.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of them.
Maybe it's no one.
And maybe no one anymore. Maybe it's changed. We haven't been told. Nice nade there. Just Utah thrown deep mid. It just shows. I mean, backs are looking really good. Obviously, last season they had a 6-2 record in the regular season. Sadly, their playoff run wasn't as strong, but I feel like backs have always had glimpses of brilliance. And maybe this season everything's finally clicked.
And I think as well, backs in that last season, it seemed as though, you know, nothing was guaranteed. They were kind of the team that were just kind of on the brink, and they got themselves in. So it's nice to see them starting off this season very nicely. And obviously 3 rounds so far here, unless if Palm can somehow win this 1v4. Nice bit of tag damage there. Rexy is in the flank though, and Palm's surely going to get taken down. Ooh, very dicey there for Rexy. As mentioned though, backs, they do find that 3rd round. We do see the AWP on Rexy, no AWP out for Royals. Essentially, that might be somewhat of a determining factor for them to find success. Obviously, we still have Refire on that MP9, so I feel like the strength of the AWP outweighs the weakness of the MP9, especially because I feel like, look at the positioning that Refire is playing, and I feel like this is near perfect for an MP9. So you've got to imagine we'll be able to put up some work here. I like this 3A setup, one towards Fountain, and obviously Rexy holding playground aggression with the AWP. On Rufire going to start things off here for Bax. Axis able to find Swaggy. Oh, Rexy finds one. This is a full buy for Royals, and it's just Sturzig remaining. 1 versus 5 now. Everything is gone.
We haven't seen much from Bax really this season. It's just been that one game, but it's clear that they're bringing whatever they bought from Toxic World straight into Royals. They are looking very strong on an early tack call from Royals.
It's nice to see them kind of understanding that they really need to use the tack balls early on. Realistically, you know, as we mentioned, this kind of do or die for their season survival, so definitely going to need to win this one. But Bax, they looked great in that round, finding those 4 individual kills. Worked out perfectly for them.
I don't want to call anything too early, but imagine if we saw 2 16-0s in a row.
Oh, there's surely not.
I know it's only been 4 rounds of play. I know it's ridiculous to say it, but it is just something that would be pretty ridiculous. I feel like something that you'd never see in CS again. The fact that a team...
What about 3 16-0s in a row? Why can't Bax do it all? Whole season, every single map 16.
Maybe. That might be a little bit too hard, but I feel like you could see in like the sort of old RMR qualifiers, the open spots to the major. I feel like these big teams can end up playing against nobodies, and then you can end up getting maybe honestly people like us, and they just 16-0 them. But with a team in the same league, I feel like a double 16-0 is probably never happened before.
But also this Challenger division. This isn't kind of, you know, a team of gods against a team of nobody. You know, all teams here in the Challenger division, they're here for a reason. They're all really strong sides, but it would be a real rarity. We were kind of talking about this the other day. Obviously, whilst this eco round kind of plays out, we were talking about this the other day. I think it was maybe after the Astralis game. I'm not too sure. We were talking about how whether we'd be able to win a round against pros. Do you still stick by what you said? Do you remember what you said?
I think it depends what team exactly. But,
what map as well?
Yeah, I still think we could win a round.
You think we could win?
I think we could comfortably win a round. With a bit of luck.
Yeah, someone needs to get like a... You get like a triple collat or something early on? No scope through...
all 5.
All 5, yeah.
It's just one shot for a smoke or something, gets them all.
Beacon Monster on Overpass.
Ooh, Beacon Monster, a lot of bodies here, and just looks so similar. Look like we're playing aimbots there.
It's been brought to a 2v2 here, both players with AKs as well. Oh, and things are getting really dicey here. Swaggy able to find another in this round. It's all on Rufire now. And you had to mention the 16-0, didn't you, Charlie? Straight away afterwards, Royals, they take the round.
Good rounds there from Royals, but it did feel like it definitely still could have went back his way. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect buy from Royals anyway.
It was a half investment. It was perfect for them. It wasn't a full buy. You know, Sturzig invested a little, but you know, look how much money they've got in the reserve just from saving those weapons in the loss. So you know, it did look good there. I think we saw a hero AK on Swaggy there, but I think this, you know, potentially might have humbled the backside. They were looking really great early on, but a round like that certainly going to change the team's mentality. We are going to be seeing this aggression out mid. Rufire finds one. Swaggy with the trade, but he gets taken down by Dennis. Rexy finds Sturzig, and now it's all on Shateri and Palm.
Yeah, I love this side boost. Back seemed to love to do it quite regularly, in fact. Something the older Astralis roster used to try to pull out quite a lot. Don't see it as much anymore, but definitely isn't stopping back. They're going for it again. You know, whenever they feel like they need it, and if anyone opens Condor, there you go. That kill's going to be found.
Yeah, perfect, really.
Vicus could find another. Instead, it's Axis. Straight back to the winning ways. But Royals still have money to play with, so it's definitely not over yet. The fact, like you mentioned, as it wasn't that full investment on the round they won, the win reward sort of mixed with the money that they had in the bank. Definitely going to set them up for a bit more success, so they can get these AKs out.
Yeah, obviously, a player like Chanky not going to have perfect utility. But straight away, you know, full buy versus full buy, we've seen backs, they've been great at finding these opening picks, and it's something that Royals really need to improve on because they potentially just giving it away. Oh, to be fair, Swaggy can't really dodge that. Just sat behind a smoke. Swaggy thinking he's safe. Just gets absolutely eliminated by Lovicus there.
Yeah, Axis could be primed to find a couple of kills as well. Shatiri, great reaction time and a great flick to accompany it. Oh, 3 kills in this round. 4 kills in this round, actually. Vicus does get shut down for the ace, but Palm is now on a 1 versus 3. It's getting pounced on as Danis is rotating in towards that B-bomb side, but timing could actually be perfect for Palm. Could make his way out just before anyone is noticing him.
Oh, look at Danis. So aware.
He's just got the read.
Might get taken down here. Oh, never mind. It was Palm, in fact, that had knife in hand. And backs, they find 6 here. They're looking very dominant, but obviously, you know, Overpass being a CT-sided map, we're kind of expecting a 9-6, 10-5 type of half, but we need to see some slight changes here for Royals if they are going to want to find 4 more rounds, because realistically, backs have looked brilliant. I feel like the round that Royals found clearly showing somewhat of an anomaly.
A lot of mid presence in this one from Royals. Danis forced back, can't overextend too much. It's a decent buy for Royals. A bit of a split by 3 rifles and 2 pistols.
Yeah, we've got the AWP of Rexy towards long. Danis is in toilets as well. We've got Lovicus progressing up connector. And obviously Ruffire's rotated in a very heavy A stack here. Oh, missed run boost there. I like the attempt. Don't know whether they spotted the AWP. The flash is going to come through, and this could do a lot of work for them. In fact, blinding the AWP. Lovicus finding one. Danis now swings out of toilets, and instantly Royals get eliminated.
Look at the minimap. Look where all those CTs were.
They were so ready.
4 players towards A. They were so aware of that. They had a 3rd player rotating in towards long to throw flashes to accompany the other 2.
Charlie,
so ready. Perfect play.
All I'm saying is, there was 11 points of damage in that round on the backside. That's all the damage that we saw, which is, we definitely need to be seeing a lot more from this Royal side.
I mean, I don't blame Royals there at all. I feel like that was just unbelievably played by backs. I don't think I've seen a round played out to that extent of such a gamble just with the minimal information that you do have, and things are just getting so much worse.
You know, I think, don't get me wrong, it was a great setup from backs, but I feel like when we are having these individual gunfights, we need to see more from the Royal side. Look again, just in this round, 19 damage. That's all that was taken. Axis took an extra 8 just for the fun of it, but we need to see more from Royals.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first death, Lovicus, perfect spam through the wall, you know, that happens. Similarly to when we saw Swaggy get spammed through the smoke. Stuff like that does just happen, and it is unfortunate, and you kind of just need to brush it off because, yeah, it's annoying, but it's CS. But in the rest of the altercations, we saw 4 players going towards Monster, and Axis was just able to kind of pick and choose when he decides to swing, and the Molotov was so late, it didn't force him out in the open. There was no other pressure from the players pushing Monster. We need to see more damage dealt here from this Royal side because it seems as though backs, they've got the read, they're not being forced into kind of any difficult gunfights, and they are just winning their individual duels accordingly because they're playing nice angles, they're not being forced off it, and you know, it's clear to see that mechanically, potentially they are a little stronger than this Royal side.
I think in general as a team, they seem that way. I feel like Royals, they do have some really good individuals on their sides, but we haven't really seen the best of them just yet. Danis could be getting a few kills from the firing line, does double up, but is getting hunted. It can be very challenging to get away now. Swaggy surely has to find him. Somehow he's able to cross to cover.
Oh, did he re-peek? Oh, no, he did get taken down in fact, but Swaggy, all that remains now was Sturzig hunting for that AK, but 1 versus 4 now for Swaggy with just a Tech 9 smoke and a flashbang. He's currently getting flanked on, but Rufar definitely not being quiet about his intentions. Swaggy finding one. The nade. Oh, that is perfect from Lovicus.
He was just watching his death there. Knew it was going to happen. Saw the nade swarming him, but backs, they are looking unbelievable, Fred. And honestly, I do find this is probably a game that could have been a pretty dominant one. And it's definitely looking that way. I mean, you come in, you look at the Toxic World scoreline, and you think, you're not having many of those. You're not having many games like this, because we just don't really see games that are this dominant in Challenger Division. A lot of times the games are really close, but backs, like I said, it does feel like they've just hit that 6th gear.
Yeah, no, I think as well, you know, it's a real rarity to see dominant games in the Challenger Division, as you mentioned, but to see back-to-back ones, that's when things are looking a little scary for the other teams here in the Challenger Division. Realistically, I would not want to be facing off against this backside because their current form is looking absolutely amazing.
I feel like backs are one of the teams that, though, I don't think we particularly gave enough credit to in terms of how far they could have gone in this regular season and in terms of playoffs, really.
Yeah, I feel like they're always the side that, you know, keep themselves among the pack. I feel like they never really kind of stray away from the necessities, but I feel as well, you know, they're not kind of the Iron Branches, the VP Prodigies. I feel like they're always a little bit behind, but I think this season certainly could be the one where they can step up and kind of battle against these top tier teams.
What do you think you need to do to sort of be considered in that bracket for us? Because obviously they finished 6-2 last season, but I think it was the playoffs which them down a bit more. It was 1-on-1, so it's definitely respectable still, but what do you think you need a semi-final placing to sort of be in that bracket?
I think you know, maybe not a semi-final. I think it kind of depends on the matchups. I feel like, you know, even in round of 16, we could see backs facing off against Iron Branch, and let's say they take it 3 maps and it's all really close. I feel like then you kind of have that standard where you go, on another day, Iron Branch, they're done there. So I feel like it is going to determine who they are facing off against. I feel like if they're playing a fairly, I don't want to say easy opponent, because I don't think there are many here in the Challenger Division, but I feel like if they're not playing against the kind of the top tiers and then they lose, then you could kind of expect, okay, yeah, they're not at that stage yet. They're not at that top tier, but I think the regular season they're going to have to go at least kind of replicate their success in the last season, go 6-2, maybe even 7-1. But they're looking great so far. Lovely bits of utility there. Lovicus able to find one. Roofire rotating in from ABC.
Yeah, to point out, this was a bit more of a force buy here. Just for Galil's Mac 10s, damn it. Gets man advantage back in back's favour. He could double up, he spotted them. And now it's just this player trapped under heaven. Shanky. Oh, what can he do? Great peek out to find the first. 3 bullets in the mag. Forced to reload as Rexy creeps closer and closer.
Shanky can't get himself out of here, but Rexy with the Tech 9 orb in his primary slot will take him down though. And backs, they find 11 here. 11-1, Charlie. I feel like this game only started mere minutes ago. And we've already got a 10-round advantage here for backs.
I mean, Overpass, I've said it in, I think it might have been our previous SCL Overpass game we casted. But just the fact that a CT-sided favourite map, if you start on that CT side, it doesn't matter how far ahead you are, you can never take your foot off the gas. Because we saw it in a number of games, just where it's about an 8-0 lead, and a few close rounds, you lose one, the money's broken, and the T's can just get into the game from nowhere. Especially on Nuke as well. And you're sort of expecting a 10-5, and 11-4 is not even that terrible for the T's. And because you need just such a minimal amount of rounds, all they can take is a couple of lucky rounds. Trades come through though, 3 versus 3 here. It feels like Royals can always get these trades, but it's just the later rounds that they struggle with.
I feel like, you know, in these last couple, they've been great at finding either the opening pick or, as you mentioned, the trades. But it's all about these later stages. But Shateri finding Roofire there onto Lovicus and Axis. Lovicus, oh my god, Lovicus is on 23 kills. When did that even happen?
Yeah, he's been getting non-stop 2Ks, a couple of 3Ks, 4Ks. He's looked really strong in this one.
Charlie, he has the same amount of kills as the whole Royal side combined.
No.
Yep. Yeah.
That is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's probably not many times. Yeah, that's unbelievable. And he's still alive here.
Oh, we can get more. He's certainly pressuring for more. Get taken down here. Oh, but he gets a double. Completely oblivious to even the chance of there being a player in toilets. And Lovicus finds 25.
Fred, I feel like there's
5 KD.
There's a point in.
Is it over?
I feel like there's just a certain time and a place and a certain map or series that some of these players can just go nuclear, and you just can't stop them. I think this is it for Lovicus. I don't think there's many times you're going to catch them, but this is it. I don't think you'll get much better than this. I think you could bung a ROPS on the server, and I don't think it made that big a difference right now because Lovicus, he's looking unbelievable.
All I'm saying, 2:30 PM, 31st of August 2022. Lovicus, write that.
Yeah, write that down.
Write that down.
Because it's all going downhill from now.
Exactly. Or this could be the kind of the start of the time.
If this is the start, I think we're seeing
Where's the finish?
A real unbelievable player on our hands.
This has got to be if this is a bad performance from Lovicus.
Yeah, we got to stay tuned a bit more with backs. Obviously, I think this is only our first game we casted. Obviously, they have only played. Oh no, definitely not. But this season, it's obviously they've only played one game. But I think we got to stay tuned just for Lovicus now.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Gets one, and the second, and the third!
No!
Oh, nearly the fourth as well. That was a 3 versus 5.
He's put his team in this though. They've given him a real chance. Player towards trucks being spotted. Rexy does find it, and it's all on Sturzig. Wrapping around towards long. This bomb can be stuck. Just the tap on it as it allows him to slowly emerge closer and closer. Long surely has to start to be considered. Rexy gets found. Axis is pushing in, and Sturzig does all the work himself. Doubles his kills in one round. Goes from 2 to 4. And we saw Lovicus do all the heavy lifting, but sadly his team just couldn't pull through.
Yeah, maybe Lovicus has just been too good in this game. He hasn't allowed the rest of his team to warm up into it yet.
I mean, the fact that you can look at a player like Danis and think, yeah, he's having a really good game, but...
Oh, he's just in the shadow.
Yeah, it really is. Second round found, though, from Royals. If they find 3, it might just be enough to be able to get us questioning a comeback, but anything less, I feel like it's going to be a long, long and tough road back.
Yeah, and the one problem is Lovicus is still alive. Refi will be able to find one though. Just going to drop the smoke. Molotov as well. Oh, the flash is brilliant, and Chanky gets taken down.
That was perfect, actually. Axis threw that from deep, and Chanky thought he was getting swung on by Axis, just spamming there, even though Axis was miles away.
Yeah, great team play here from this backside.
Another 3v3. Royals are very split for now. Just hoping they can get one more kill before trying to go into any sort of exec. Rexy could find the bomb here.
Gets the tag though. And that's a job well done. Doesn't really need to do much more.
Oh no. Oh, I thought he was throwing that over the top. That would have been ridiculous.
Rexy's playing very deep here with the AWP. They're going to be
I think
boosting.
it shows that confidence though.
Oh,
no!
That is unfortunate. Rexy's been dinked down, but oh, he's able to find one. Palm with the trade. Lovicus still alive here, defending towards B. There's only 10 seconds remaining, Charlie. Oh, and the missed shot there, but he hits it with a deagle. Lovicus, no, the round's done. Unless if somehow... You can't kill Lovicus, not yet. He's 30 and 6,
It's impossible. Yeah, he's keeping that trend of the 5 KD.
But
I feel like this is one of the games. I feel from Royals, it's going to be a tough one. They've had a tough season already. They're 0-4, and I feel like you've got to sort of look at this game and think: did we play our best? Probably not. Could we have stopped Lovicus?
Definitely not.
Probably not. But just there's a lot of unlucky factors that have gone the way of Royals. Just like around like that, they boost the player up, get perfect timing, got Rexy in the crosshairs, dink him for a wall. He's 1 HP, kills one of your teammates.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's a guaranteed kill there. It's just these unlucky things that are just sadly happening to Royals, and they don't really have much of a response to it. And in general, it's sort of all culminating to be one big mess of a game with these mistakes, these unlucky moments, and then you got Lovicus as well, and it's all combining just to make it a really challenging one here for Royals.
Yeah, I think obviously it hasn't been the kind of most friendly game for them. I feel like obviously they've got someone who's kind of, I don't want to say life gaming, but you know that's kind of the term that a lot of people would use.
Honestly, in that 5 versus when he was in the backlines and toilets, I started to watch him and think he does this normally.
This is the
just his awareness and how he played it. It looked like he does this every day of the week.
Yeah,
he eats those rounds for breakfast. But I could be wrong. Obviously, like I said, we haven't watched much back this season.
Nice shot there from Swaggy. Rexy in short water, trying to isolate the frags, but will get taken down by Sturzig. Lovicus and Axis now in this 2 versus 5. It's going to be somewhat troublesome here. Lovicus behind the pillar. Will just get taken down. It's all on Axis now. The bomb can just be stuck. They're aware that he's towards ABC.
He's pushing up to heaven, seeing if he can get anything, but he's not being quiet about it. The bomb has been stuck, and Royals do win the pistol round, so they do want to make this comeback happen. That was a crucial part, but they've also got to make sure they can convert this force buy from backs. Because that's what's always so devastating when you win the pistol, but you just can't convert that force buy. And it feels that you've done the hard work, but the round that should be easier, you just get punished on.
And the weaponry in this one's fairly similar. Obviously, it's 3 Galils and an AK with a Tech 9 opposed to the 4 M4s and the MP9. So you've got to favour Royals in regard to the weaponry ever so slightly, but also the utility for them certainly looking perfect. Well, not anymore, but it was at the start of a round. Palm will be able to find one. Drops Lovicus very low as well.
This is looking a lot better in this round and a lot more likely to be won by backs. I actually love the fact that Lovicus is still dropping his weaponry despite being all the way up on the leaderboard. Obviously, it's due to health. Rooffire, will he check this left-hand angle on Sturzig?
Doubt it. No real reason to. Nice find from Rexy there, but ding down to 10 HP. Both of these players very low. Swaggy can find them both with ease. Oh, even more damage dealt. Finds one. And secures the second. So, going to make a lot of money with that MP9. Upgrades to the AK as well. And Royals, they find their 4th round on the board here.
Yeah, Back's just going to have to respect Royals for now. Just going to go for the eco. Allow them to find 5 before they can get the weaponry out again. Sort of on Overpass, the AWP duels are normally what we talk about the most. We haven't really had much of a chance. It's really been these rifles stealing the show.
Well, I feel like for backs, you know, it's clear to see that Lovicus on the rifle doing a lot of work, and I feel like we haven't really had the opportunity for the AWP of Royals to kind of show any dominance.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to show dominance when it was a 13 to do half. Maybe the CT side will fare better.
And I think as well now, Royals, although it's only 3 rounds, it's given them something. It potentially can spur them on to bring this one back.
Heavy B-lean early on from Bags.
It's
Towards the side of the map. Yeah, Danis grabs the first, grabs a second with a great burst fire shot. Looking for 3, but Lovicus causes him to come in and clean things up. But a
Oh my
great
God.
reactionary turn from Danis.
Love to know
Just
what
like
Danis
that.
senses.
Get the weapons out, Fred, and instantly they're looking back to their old ways.
I feel like obviously Royals, they were looking good when they were against weaker weapons, but now against the full buy, certainly not perfect. Palm is going to be on the AWP here now, so Royals do have a slight advantage.
Miss smoke there. I think he got blocked by his teammate a bit when throwing that one. Oh, Danis, you can't do it again. Swaggy, though, at the start of this round, got himself an M4 and just been dinked down through the wall early.
A lot of flashes over B as well. Axis will find Shateri. Chanky gets taken down and Swaggy falls as well. Talk about blocked utility. Not Molly there, but what are we going to see here from Royals? Are they going to go for it? Are they going to save?
They're at a point in the game, yeah, I think they're at the point in the game where it almost doesn't matter what they choose to do, which is a pretty horrible sort of thought process to be in, because the money that they're going to get next round isn't going to be enough to drop their teammates, unless sort of they get a couple of knife kills maybe when these players are hunting them. So they're basically just gonna have to play these rounds with these 2 weapons and maybe MP9s or Deagles. And if they went for it, they would just be another one on those Deagles, but at least they'd have a chance to win the round. So it's a pretty horrible spot to be in.
I still think the right decision, though. I feel like there's no point throwing away an open M4 at an attempt at a 2v4. I feel like it, you know, a really tough round.
Yeah, but you obviously do have to understand, you're so far behind. Sometimes you do just need to give those a crack and hope something works. But if I'm not too bad about it, they do have a couple of masses. Obviously, Chanky with the 5-7. Util is lackluster and no diffuse kit, and it could just be ended with this B-lean once again. Backs doing the exact same stuff they've done before.
Aggression towards Shaw, and Danis finds one, gets the second as well, and this could be the beginning of the end, Charlie.
This was a 4B hold, by the way. There are 4 players here ready for any sort of aggression. Axis pushes through, but actually these 2 remaining players do the damage. They keep this one level, 2 versus 2 now.
Danis has found 3 in this round so far. Certainly going to be looking for more as well.
Teammate has regrouped. Palms towards Heaven, getting smoked off now. Molly towards ABC, so they're really isolating Shateri on site.
One has just dropped into the bomb site though. Oh, Danis has spotted him. Oh, and they know where the final player is. Oh, and they're just playing with their food. Their Palm gets taken down and backs. They closed it out 16-5 there. That is a ridiculous showing from them. They're definitely going to be happy with the result of that one. We will just go to a short break here before our next game, which is going to be an absolutely amazing one as well. That is going to be VP Prodigy versus Incilio. But yeah, as I mentioned, don't go anywhere. We will be right back for that next match. Hello there, guys. How are we all doing today? We are going to be going into our second match of the day. It is VP Prodigy versus Incilio on Ancient. But what are your initial thoughts going into this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting match. VP Prodigy are another one that we've only seen one game of. And it was against Zero Tenacity. And to be honest, I feel like it's quite disappointing from VP Prodigy. I feel like we always look at them and feel like they're at least a semi-final team. They always look so good. Obviously, in their first season, they made it to the finals. But it was quite disappointing 16-8 from them. Incilio, they lost their first game of the season. Won their second, so they're 1-1 now. It's not going to be an easy game for either team, but going to be an important one.
Yeah, pure silence on the server here. Not a single player moving a muscle. I say that. Oh, they go into the crosshair of Castle. Gets a lovely double there onto Latic and Lomic. Yeah, as you mentioned, I feel like VP Prodigy certainly weren't stepping up in that game against Zero Tenacity. They need to do it here. Wrestle with a dirty double there to take down both the players on A. It's going to be Data rotating in towards Temple, but we do already have Wrestle lying there. Just going to be... Oh, this is absolute domination from Xanta with the Julies. And it's all of Wrestle. 9 HP. He's done so much in the round so far, but Data takes him down. And Incilio, they take the pistol round here.
Yeah, it's a brutal bomb site to have to play on. Sort of as soon as that bomb finished going down, Xanta swings out. Does so much damage, and eventually the Julies... The thing is that the Julies, it doesn't matter if you miss 20 bullets because you still got plenty more to fire. And that's what sort of feels like we watched.
I feel like they were just kind of spamming away and didn't even get taken down there. I feel like the sheer firepower alone of the Julies, just the bullets whizzing past your head, is enough to scare you. It's going to be this force buy here, though, from VP Prodigy. I say that Latic hasn't invested in much. We are going to be seeing a set of A-smokes being thrown. It could be the perfect call, as there's no defender here so far. Data's going to be rotating in, though, and the timing could be perfect. This molly there from Castle. Util will come through now. I think they're just going to be popping through this smoke here.
Bursting out towards A, molly towards backside is going to force Dad to out, but he might be able to find some frags before going down. Does double up, 4 versus 2 now. Lomic and Fen2k.
That's a lovely shot there from Lomic. Brings it to this 2 versus 3. The weapons can be retrieved, and Donut thoroughly under the control here of VP Prodigy. We do have obviously 2 players towards CT and 1 on that long flank. Lomic dropped down to 17 HP, and this is where Xanta can work his magic. Oh, come from main. Could have got the double there, but Pip stole it away, and Incilio, they find the resulting round off the back of that pistol. They best the force of VP Prodigy. I think we could be seeing a buy again, though, because it was kind of a half investment. It's quite a weird one there from VP Prodigy.
Yeah, and with the loss bonus, obviously, due to losing the pistol, as well as the bomb plant, the buy's going to be decent. The buy could actually be better than that of Incilio. I love that from Fen2k. Just doesn't even bring out the AK, just fully opts for the Galil.
Latic's got an AWP in play, no armor. I think it's a fairly even buy. Obviously, we see the limitations on Pip with the FAMAS, but there's a couple Galils in play and also not perfect utility. But I love this aggression down ramp here. Pip in a great position. Oh, Cheerful, very aware there. Pip able to find one. Searching for the second. But we'll just be backing away here.
Cheerful being tagged down. Other than that, all level, all even. Alright, according to the minimap thread, is Zigga in main or donut?
Is this the game we're playing? I'm saying donut, 100%.
I'm saying main. He's in donut.
You gonna check for
He's
us?
in donut.
Why would he be looking? Why would he be looking into the wall, Charlie?
Because you get tucked into that little angle, and if you like look into the wall, they can't see your gun, and I don't know.
Are we going to be playing this new game? Alright, Cheerful. Where's he on the minimap, Charlie? Where's he actually? Where's he playing from?
That's Cheerful.
He's one you're looking at.
We're watching him. I'll stare at the minimap. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good... Oh, what's this boost? Towards backside. They do just dismantle and go towards cave. Lomic, he's here. Pip does fall. And Castle in a really awkward position now.
Yeah, Trap between the two sets of attack here for VP Prodigy, and the timing's perfect for Result. Zigazagger and Data might just save here. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to be doing, trying to utilize these weapons in the next. But VP Prodigy, a great full buy from them. Obviously, the main goal for them, they need to keep all 4 of these players alive because the money's not perfect here. Obviously, they can upgrade that Galil to the M4, I believe. But Cheerful might not opt for it, but they are going to be going towards B main. And seemingly both Data and Zigazagger getting somewhat inquisitive.
Yeah, Cheerful does finally upgrade his weapon.
Very close to going down there.
But I mean, it's not a bad buy. It was a good looking buy from VP Prodigy. And I don't even think it was that big a risk. Just the fact they have money left in the bank, the bomb plant really allowed them to get the weapons out. Obviously, Incilio saving those 2 weapons, they can continue to get by as well. But this is where you are surely got to be heavily favouring VP Prodigy's buy.
Yeah, they've got a major advantage here. Obviously, we see the 4 rifles and the MP9 on Incilio, whereas we've still got that AWP on Latic, and there it is. Takes down Castle. Potentially, Incilio weren't ready for that AWP. I don't actually believe Latic fired off a shot with it.
Yeah, I think maybe best that might have been heard was the scope. Even then, they might have thought it was a scout.
Yeah, obviously, the AWP was initially brought out at the cost of armor. Potentially something they weren't going to be ready for. I like the positioning here of Xanta. Going to try and optimize the MP9 at these close quarter engagements. Seemingly VP Prodigy leaning towards B here, and we've got somewhat of a B stack from Incilio, just leaving Zigazagger to defend up both middle and A. It's all about timing here on Pip's jiggle, though. Oh, Latic could find this kill here.
Another smoke use Cheerful. Almost taken down. 1 extra bullet would have done it.
Force them back though, and look at Result slowly clearing out middle. Hasn't been met with any contact yet.
Yeah, the issue is this is a bit of a stack here from Incilio. If you put up too much of a defense, if you don't let them have any avenue in, a lot of the time it can lead them to go to the other side of the map, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, I feel like we saw potentially too strong of a hold there for Incilio, as you mentioned perfectly. VP Prodigy had no chance to get in towards B, so why would they even stay around towards B? Got themselves in a 3 versus 2 though, still man advantage, but it's surely just going to be another save for Incilio here. Once again, VP Prodigy, they doubled down, they string the rounds together, and it's looking nice so far on their T side, even after losing the pistol.
They got themselves straight back into this one. VP Prodigy, they're a team that we're normally expecting to be right up there at the tops of the leaderboard. Maybe this could be the start of that trajectory.
Yeah, obviously, as we mentioned before, didn't have the greatest of matches against Zero Tenacity, but I guess this is their opportunity to bounce back.
Issue is with this save from Incilio, is this is a buy that they can't actually go for. Obviously, they'll have these 2 rifles in this round, but it does make you think, could they have at least attempted that 2 versus 3?
Yeah, obviously it's still early doors. I feel like there's no need to go for those risky rounds. It's not do or die yet, but oh, that's a great find from Lomic and takes down Data as well. Latic finding Pip, and it's all on Castle and Xanta.
Was that both the rifles? It was. Both the rifles just got found through a smoke. And now it makes me think, yeah, just should have gave the other round a go. Obviously, never could have known, but Castle with this retrieved AK. Can he do anything? Lomic looks aware. He must be. Lomic looks so aware. Flash blinds Lomic, doesn't matter though.
Castle was able to dodge it as well. As you mentioned, certainly didn't matter. Look at the money here for the VP Prodigy side. 3 players around that 7k mark. And once again, Incilio's full buy leaves a lot to be desired. No kit in play as of yet, and they won't be able to invest in one either. We got the FAMAS on Xanta, and slight limitations regarding utility for the Incilio side as well. So VP Prodigy, they could extend their lead here.
chance. Latic boosted up. Gets the tag onto Pip. He's not going for that jump again. Castle brought down low as well.
Yeah, lovely initial start here for VP Prodigy. Obviously, they haven't secured a kill yet, but got to imagine these low HP players really going to struggle.
Just backing off from Cave. I thought that flash was going to be to push. Would have been a real risk, but yeah, just backing off here. Good flash onto the donut player. Zigazagger gets found after getting one.
Nice little 1-for-1, but obviously, seeing as it was on Zigazagger, it does still leave both Pip and Castle alive, and they obviously are the two very low HP players here for Incilio.
Yeah, Incilio playing very reactive here. Obviously can't play too proactive in this round, but the issue is we're playing so reactive, it just means any sort of seam fake, they just instantly rotate off. And now Xanta is surely going to get dropped towards this B-side. Bomb is getting tapped. I feel like if he goes down for free thread, we're going to be seeing another attempted save, but will it come through? Xanta does get found. Pip and Castle, the two low HP players, will do everything they can to keep hold of these weapons, but Fen2K could be there to deny them.
He's heard all of these steps. They're aware that this player towards T-spawn. Just tucked away right by the spawn. And now we're seeing Fen2K slowly aggressing. All about timing here. Ooh, takes him down. Castle, all that remains towards A main here. And Lomic getting somewhat aggressive here now.
Cheerful does have an opportunity if he just peeks towards site now.
Is he AFK there?
Yeah, it looked like he just wanted nothing to do with the hunt, so he just sort of... He might have. I'm not sure. He definitely could have...
Just tucks himself
could have been
away.
attempted, but... But Castle was able to keep hold of his weapon. He is the partial investment in this round for Incilio, and with that M4, definitely makes the buy look significantly better, but Data has been spotted and can't find anything before going down. The 5-7 in those sort of close range angles are such a threat. They're so worrying to sort of play against and just watch anyone play against. I'm scared of these $500 pistols. They really do terrify me.
More so than the Deagle?
Oh, probably definitely, yeah. I feel like you've got to be good to use the Deagle, but... Well, unless you spam, but... Yeah. The 5.7 is literally just a Glock on steroids, I suppose.
Definitely not wrong there. Nice tag there onto Castle as well. Pip looking for a kill here towards Donut. VP Prodigy, although they've taken this control, it seems as though they're kind of trapped here. Pip able to find one as well. Oh, Xanta could take down the bomb planter. It's all on Latic now. 1 versus 2.
It just really did. Oh, they're going to double push through the smoke. This could be perfectly played, but Pip could have an angle. He's got an avenue, and he finds the kill. Incilio on just a half by, they take it, and VP Prodigy, it felt like they just did not want to get that bomb down at all, and I feel like that was really their undoing.
They kind of gave away that round. Realistically, we were kind of expecting a 5-2 scoreline. It's given Incilio something to battle with now.
Zigazagger doesn't even need to find the kill onto Latic, because Morley does it for him.
Oh, that's a nice shot there from Castle as well. Takes down Cheerful. Instantly Incilio. Once they're on these full boys, they have looked great. First full buy of the game for them. Realistically, they've always had some slight limitations, but not in this round. That's a great find from Fen2K though.
This double push towards A could be the real difference maker. Issue is the bomb is still miles away, still towards T-spawn.
Might cause some rotations though. Oh, and Resol getting very aggressive. Brings it to this 3 versus 3 now.
Yeah, Fen2k is going to have to go and grab this bomb. So these two remaining players are going to have to do a lot of work to keep hold of this A bomb site.
I like how Incilio are playing this though. They are just playing as a group, playing as a pack. They don't want to make any mistakes here and give away a level playing field.
I mean, look how reserved VP Prodigy are playing. So paranoid that someone was on the bomb, still shifting up as Incilio haven't shown anything and they've gambled towards B. We can see it is the wrong call to make, but still 3v3. They will surely give this one a go.
Obviously, they've got two kits as well, Xanta and Castle. Both of them in play. Pit finds one. Oh, Pit with another. Fen2k very... Does he have time to plant? Oh, it's so down to the wire. Just goes down in the nick of time. Xanta finds the frag and Incilio. They clutch out that round.
It's the same issue, Fred. VP Prodigy just were too slow to get that bomb down. Obviously, they didn't know 100% the whole bomb site was clear, but they really did spend too long sort of just waiting, and allowed Incilio to rotate in. And then they found the first kill, doubled up. And sort of eventually the trade came through for VP Prodigy, whereas if they just took the risk, got that bomb down instantly, 3v3 post-plant.
Yeah, they're in a much stronger position. Incilio kind of forced to rush things, although even with the kit, they're not going to be playing a retake slowly when the bomb's ticking away.
Good molly onto Cubby, but Data, perfectly played. You saw just the tunnel vision there from Cheerful. Even though they know exactly where that smoke came from, just wanted to find the kill on the player towards Cubby. Xanta's now going to be helping from short, hitting some great shots. Does get spammed down through the smoke from Fen2k, but he's got more work to do. Doubles up, makes this a 2v2.
60 HP combined on these two remaining VP Prodigy players.
They're against an opener for Mass though, so it is still doable.
They've got a lot of util to work with, whereas for Incilio, not a single piece remaining.
Really slow from both teams here. Hoping somebody makes a mistake, but nothing's being given to anybody yet. Latic could find Pip with a bit of good timing. It doesn't even look like Pip's peeking towards ramp. He's just clearing these close angles in case anyone's pushing him. So the bomb site is free for the taking.
Once again, though, we might have a similar kind of story. VP Prodigy taking a little too long to get that bomb down. 1 versus 2 now for Latic. Sends the flashbang. Is being held right now. Nice find. Oh! Castle missing that shot as well. Giving Latic somewhat of a second life in this one. Oh, that's brilliant from Latic.
Does get found. Yeah, perfectly played. Even with that minimal health, still made it work, and that's the benefit with the AWP. Spam. This could be perfect. Xanta does get found. Fen2k with the awareness. Castle does find one more. In fact, VP Prodigy, they're really coming alive here. Obviously, this is just a weak buy from Incilio. Nothing really to write home about. Data, all that remains of the scout. Perfect jiggle from Latic. Gets the tag through the wall. Goes for it again. And Data gets found.
That is ridiculous. A lovely set of kills there. VP Prodigy. Things started off quite poorly for them, and then they had their strength, then they had their showing, and then it went back in Incilio's way, and VP Prodigy, they're the ones fighting now. It seems as though Incilio, they have their kind of couple 2-round stints where they can show their dominance, but then VP Prodigy, they get with the groove, they know what Incilio are doing, they understand their tendencies, and then bang, they change things up, and it works out perfectly for them.
Yeah, it does look really good. Lomic is surely going to get found by Zigzaga. He looks not aware of him at all. Zigzaga, great find there, but Lomic really, you felt like he should have been aware of the tags from the molly, the steps, the gunfire even. Man advantage for Incilio. Xanta doubles down. Zigzaga is spotted, just playing a tight angle. Prodigy, a lot of work to do, even more now as Castle finds Wrestle. Even with this sort of weaker buy from Incilio, they still look so strong. Obviously, these FAMASs haven't actually had any contact yet, but the rest of the players have stepped up beyond belief. Final two, heading towards B. Latic and Fen2k up against 3 defenders. Fen2k only 36 points of health. Can't find the first, and the info being given. Xanta falls, and Latic is in another clutch, but double as hard now. Not a 1v2 or 1v4, and he's pushing. He wants to find these kills.
He also wants to create some space for himself, but realistically, the fact he hasn't been met with any contact here, this is where things can get a little bit troublesome, because obviously we've got 2 players towards this elbow position, and Latic surely going to lose his life here. And there we have it. Incilio, they find their 5th. Quite back and forth game here so far.
Yeah, it's hard to sort of give a direct favorite. It seems like someone goes on a bit of a couple of round streak, and then some sort of misplay comes through, and you question a bit. Really up in the air. Zigzaga just dropping the smoke. Doesn't want to get crunched on. Elevates himself up as these reinforcements from short do come. Fen2k finds the first. They might not be aware of Pip here. If he gets timing right, he can find 2 for the price of 1. Finds the first, does get turned on. Latic, just as the smoke fades, is able to find Pip. I reckon he would have been able to find Fen2k there as well, but 3v3. All Incilio players are very close to each other, so the B-bomb site is open for the taking, but obviously VP Prodigy have no idea of that information.
Castle's in a great position here. It's posted up with the orb, but oh, Latic seemingly had somewhat of an idea, but did get taken down, and now it's all on Fen2k. Easy find for Castle, and Incilio, they level things up 6-6.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, Fred, if we watched this game 3 months ago and it's the same scoreline, we're basically just commending VP Prodigy. We're saying about how this is an unbelievable T-side from them. They're doing so much work. But the interesting thing is, Ancient's in a really weird place right now. That some pros are saying it's T-sided, some players are saying it's more T-sided, but still CT-sided. It's tough to know exactly what side it is. That nade is on so much damage, and this A-rush is just going to be swarmed. Players towards the site are surely just going to get mowed down. Bomb plant's going to be a distant dream at this point, and Sheerfall is the final to fall. But as I was saying, it's tough to know what sided this is. And if it is slightly more T-sided, maybe this is just a bit of a weak-looking VP Prodigy. So it's so tough to know, and I feel like we're only going to really know once that halftime switch comes through, and we sort of just see how Incilio do on their T side, if they can continue what they're doing at the latter end of this CT, or if VP Prodigy just hit a new stride.
It's interesting, obviously, when maps go, undergo some changes, I feel like there's always going to be some slight change in the siding, but I feel like the one difference is, when you have let's say, there's a major change to a map like Mirage or Inferno, I feel like it's not going to change drastically because, it's a fairly middle ground map. It's a map that we can kind of sometimes see the Ts win it. We can sometimes kind of see the CTs win it, but we're not expecting dominance from either side. Whereas a map like Ancient, it was statistically the most CT-sided map in the pool. For that one to kind of have a major change, and and now it's potentially flipped to be T-sided, that's when things get a little bit problematic, because teams obviously would have been favoring the CT side for quite some time, but now it's all up in the air. It's all kind of a little bit of a question mark behind it. But Incilio, they've done nice in this round so far. They found 2 kills for the price of 1.
Look at Danta. He's really got a chance here. Finds the first. Isn't even going to look for the second. He's done his work. And now he's just a nuisance. Got the information on the other player. I can just assume they're grouped together. Result going to be spearheading this attack. He does minor bit of damage to both these players, but nothing that significant. 3 defenders here. Surely this is going to be too tough a bomb site to break into.
Spams are looking good. Result dropped down to 39 HP. You see a lot of util on Castle, but the bomb will go down. Ooh, Castle finding Result. Things get a little tough here.
Now this is when the util came out. Molly towards backside is force Latic into cave.
Latic does find 1. Has been tagged down for 57. Does get found, and Incilio, they take the half here.
Yeah, 9's definitely on the cards as well. Bomb plant's going to make things easier for VP Prodigy to get a buyout. But there's still definitely going to be limitations. Cheerful, Result, Lomic, nothing going to be perfect. They could get AKs and armor, but at the cost of a lot of util, potentially some Galils. But this would be a crucial round for VP Prodigy to try to win, because a 9-6 on the old Ancient would be a pretty decent T-side. But definitely not out of the favour that the CTs can still win it. It is going to be interesting how this one shapes up. Fen2k with a great trade onto Pip. Being brought down very low himself, though.
Yeah, very aggressive B-pop here, but they are going to go into the final stages in a hefty disadvantage situation, and Cheerful all that remains, and Xanta with an easy kill there, and Incilio, they close out the half 9-6. Obviously, you can see for the VP Prodigy side, you can see kind of all players around that kind of 10 kill mark. Obviously, Result 2 kills behind, Fen2k, Lomic 1 kill above, but the real difference maker between these two sides is the fact that kind of Cheerful only being on 4 kills. The bottom performing player for Incilio on 8, and the kind of the remaining players all around that 10, 11, 12 kill mark, and I feel like it's clear to see that although it may be just a difference of 4 kills regarding the bottom fraggers, it can completely change the game.
Yeah, I mean, you are really only as strong as your weakest link. And that's something that I feel like you can see time and time again. It's something that I feel like you used to see in a lot of top-level Counter-Strike. I remember when I used to watch a lot of FaZe, I mean, I still do. But I remember when they used to play against Na'Vi, they used to really heavily try to exploit Zeus on the B site of Mirage, just because he was the weakest individual player. And a lot of the time, they just went towards B 3-4 times in a row, just won those rounds, and didn't change it until it stopped working before they tried something else. And it was quite a sight to see.
Yeah, a little bit cheeky there, if you can kind of pinpoint where the weakest link, where kind of the easiest access point is to a bomb site, or to a round, more like. It's a great way to try and play. Nice find from Lomic though, takes down Dadta. The lurk towards middle getting found. The bomb can go down here. 2 sets of smokes, 1 towards CT and 1 in Donut. Now it's all about the post plant, because they do have this disadvantage, but the lack of a kit here for VP Prodigy might make things quite tough.
I like this from Incilio. They know they need to take some sort of control. Attic with a double, though, makes things difficult. Xanta, in fact, gets a double of his own, and Pip finishes things off with a great wallbang headshot onto Lomic. I was going to say this looked like a really, really weak post plant from Incilio. The fact that Pip was the only player with any sort of control towards Temple, and he could easily get overrun. Donut was CT's control. CT Spawn was under VP Prodigy's control. It looked like eventually the Incilio players were just going to get crunched on, but I love the CT swing. Although it didn't work out perfectly, they did find 2 for 2 in the end. And yes, they were still disadvantaged, but Xanta hit some great shots, and that's what they needed. They needed to take some control. They needed to find some space, and that's exactly what Incilio did, and it did work out for them.
And I think without it, if we kind of just saw them play a little bit static, I think they would have got overwhelmed. They certainly would have been overrun.
That's something that I feel like a lot of teams at the lower level sort of neglect to think of. It's tough to play a post plant in these really passive positions. You need a little bit of control to be able to make anything work. With VP Prodigy, this force buy is working out for them right now. 2-man advantage. Pip looking to see if he can break his way into the bomb site. Ressel gets found quickly. There's only one other defender here. And that's Fen2k with a 5-7. He falls as well. All level again. You probably have to favor VP Prodigy. They're pushing towards CT. Castle is going to get flashed in for more. Spots Lomic, who's only 7 points of health.
Ooh, Cheerful can take him down, though. That's a great find onto Castle. All on Xanta now. 1 versus 2. Oh, but he's in a perfect position here. Going to hit the steps. Ooh, ding down to 17. Still finds the frag. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact that the low HP Lomic did so much damage really set his teammate up as best he could. But it wasn't enough. Great looking force buy from VP Prodigy, but sadly just couldn't cross the line. Feels like Cheerful there as well. Was fumbling a little bit. Sorry, not Cheerful. I think it was Castle. Was fumbling a little bit too much with his nades. Did get caught off, and I think it was Cheerful that actually found him.
Towards right side.
Yeah. Or whatever that position's called. I know what you call it, left and right side.
Yeah.
I don't know the actual. We
Short,
obviously
long,
we had that
left,
discussion
right,
yesterday.
yeah.
We were playing a ECA game on Ancient, and
Is it elbow?
it's quite a big. Honestly, yeah, I feel like use whatever works for you guys. We call it left and right side, and then when you're on the CT side, you call it right and left side. It's a bit confusing, but that's what we do.
Just one of them. You know, whichever one works.
Yeah, we should probably try to find the actual comms when we cast those positions.
We can just make some random call outs. We'll call one.
Imagine if they started being used. We make up some random call out, they start getting used.
Let's call it. One of them's called.
I think Moto. No, that whole back area is Moto.
You think?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we could do that.
I feel like you got to make it like a real CS com and just apply it to those positions.
But you've just stolen that from Inferno.
Yeah.
We need to create something new.
I feel like this would take a lot longer than this game probably has for us to come up with something decent. But VP Prodigy, they're giving this one a good effort, but Fen2k needs the ace to win it, and there's no time.
Charlie, who said the callouts need to be decent? Fen2k going towards bricks now. Call it bricks. There's bricks somewhere.
We call it a wall.
Wall.
Call it wall.
Wall ground. Wall ground number 1. I don't know. I obviously, you know, we love the world of CS, and you know, so thankful for it. But some of my old uni mates, when they used to play Call of Duty, there was about 400 different callouts, and it was just like P1 all the way to P50.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, see, I would just get so confused. It's just a bunch of numbers.
It's horrible. Yeah, that makes like learning callouts a chore. I mean, learning callouts is a bit of a chore, but even more of a chore. Great find from Xanta, and they just burst in towards B. Ressel gets found. And now it's all these 3 Deagles that remain. That saved AK is gone to waste.
Lovely nade there. Lomic searching for something through the smoke. But Incilio surely going to find 13 off the back of this one. And their T-side has looked absolutely brilliant. Oh.
That to one, Stu. He's gone for it, done damage, and forced Cheerful out.
I'll be able to take him down as well.
Cilio really stepped up near the end of this game. They've won 8 rounds in a row right now, Fred. 5 at the end of their CT side, 3 now, or just about to be 4 on their T side.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Great round from Data as well.
Cilio was a team that when we knew they were coming into it, coming into Challenger Division, I felt like we looked at them and had pretty high expectations. Obviously, we've seen them play in other tournaments, and I felt like we just assumed, yeah, that they're gonna I feel like they're going to be decent, that they can find themselves in playoffs. And then obviously they lost their first game to ST Invicta, I believe, and
Yeah, I
that was a
got
bit of
to
a
got to
you
watch
got
that one.
to
It
watch
was
that. I feel like
a
it was a bit
real
of a
blunder.
surprise.
Yeah, not to
But
be rude to ST Invicta, but I feel like it was a game that everyone really kind of would have just expected Incilio to absolutely dominate. But
in these last two matchups, at least, Incilio have definitely stepped up. They've shown a lot more of what we're used to. And BP Prodigy, you have to remember, just 2 seasons ago, they were finalists. And great grand final that was as well. And obviously last season, semi-finalists as well. So they're definitely no slouch. They're a team that we expect to be right near the top.
you got to imagine, Charlie, I feel like the kind of the level, the ability of this top division has just kept increasing. And the real question is, have VP Prodigy increased with it? I feel like, you can have a couple shaky games at the start of the season, but we really need to see more from them.
Yeah, that's the worrying thing. I feel like a game like CS, the sort of longevity of players' careers, and especially time on certain teams, is so much shorter than sort of traditional sports. And, oh, that is a brilliant mulling from Xanta. The flash is actually coming through.
Was that team kill?
All level, not a team kill just yet. It did look like it though. All traded though. But yeah, I do think certain rosters have an expiry date. And it's horrible to see the sort of the end of any roster because this is just not the level they should be performing at. And it's interesting what VP Prodigy need to change to get back to where we used to. I'm not saying they need a roster change. I'm just saying it is... Obviously, this game's not over either. If they go 0-2 down, I feel like coming into this, we probably would have predicted them to go 6-0, 7-1. 6-0? Sorry, 6-2, 7-1. And yeah, going 0-2 down is going to make those pretty challenging.
Yeah, especially as well, it's not as though they're unbeatable, kind of they're unbreakable, but kind of expect them to find 2 losses, but not right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, getting 2 losses early on, it sort of just makes you feel like there's no reason why they couldn't get it later as well, but looking much better in this one.
They've looked great here now on this CT side. They've got that full buyout in play, and you can clearly see how beneficial it is for them.
Result, such a cheeky angle. Surely got Xanta here. Yeah, great shot as well.
I don't know if you saw the gun. In fact, I think it clipped through the scaffolding there.
That is a bit brutal. That's something that I feel like CS, come on CSGO devs. Obviously, you're all watching this game.
Yeah, all 5 of you.
Honestly, I think the dev team... I'm pretty sure I heard that the dev team is pretty small for CS, so... Honestly, maybe it's 5. Castle, nice attempt there. That's forward to the 3rd player, though.
Yeah, VP Prodigy, 5 rounds away from their opponents now. So it's not going to be an easy one, but they can still bring this one back.
I mean, obviously up against an eco, it can be a nice confidence builder here for any player to want sort of right up there on the leaderboard, potentially Result and Cheerful, sitting at 7 and 9 kills, the bottom 2 players on the server. Bit of a tech wars while we wait though. Player has timed out on the VP Prodigy side, so is there anything you want to talk about? Anything in general, anything that's been happening in CS that sort of caught your eye?
I want to go back to the call-outs.
Back to the call-out?
Nah, I'm joking. Anything, recently? How recent we saying? How...
Anything, any news, any roster changes?
Any news, any roster changes? Well, obviously G2.
Heavily, yeah.
Obviously, well, G2. That was fairly recent. I feel like, it's been maybe a week, 2 weeks at best, like to say.
Probably around that.
15 days, yeah. So obviously the addition of Hooksy and JKS, I feel like... But I think it's interesting because I think... Obviously it's clear to see from their recent games that they haven't potentially performed as well as we thought. But realistically, I feel like JKS, when he stood in for, obviously, FaZe, we saw a lot of dominance. And he's kind of bounced around the system, you could say. I feel like he hasn't really found a home yet. And I feel like, you know, potentially this G2 roster could be, you know, where, you know, his end goal, maybe kind of the stepping stone, because I feel like JKS has been a player that has really stunned and has really showed up in those key important games. But I feel like so far in G2 really hasn't performed to the level that we are expecting. Obviously, it has only played 10 maps so far, so it's not really that great of a sample size. But I think it should be nice. I feel like they're kind of in that reverse honeymoon period, kind of like ironing out all the mistakes, and I think it will work out. But do you have any thoughts on that G2 roster?
I mean, we can act all nonchalant about this, but you already know my opinions on it.
Yeah, yeah.
You already know I'm not a fan of this roster. I don't think it's gonna work.
You don't think?
I think you've got a sort of Carrigan. In fact, I'm not even gonna insult Carrigan by saying a Carrigan level in terms of ability. I think Hooksy is more of a Zeus level individual.
Okay.
But
yeah.
he just if you compare him to like an in-game lead like Carrigan, you know I'm a fan of Carrigan. I don't think he's got the fragging power of Carrigan, which I don't exactly think Carrigan's fragging out every game. And I also just don't think he's got the same mind for the game that Carrigan does. So I think you've just got a bit of a downgrade on Carrigan, and then you've sort of got like a phase kind of team where you've got like 4-star players. But I feel like JKS is just going to be in a similar roles to what he was in Complexity. I just don't see how you're getting Nico, Hunter, and I forgot the JKS, obviously, all fit in nicely in roles when go back in a period of time, they all have the exact same role. I don't know. It's going to be strange. I'll be impressed if it works. I truly don't believe it's going to. I mean, just with the raw fragging potential they do have on the team, I think they'll be able to have a few deep runs at tournaments. But I think in the long run, I just don't think it's the solution. Obviously, I really don't.
Obviously, we saw a fair few changes from G2, quite a hefty one as well. When you're changing up the in-game leader, that's when things really do kind of get a bit dicey. But obviously, a little bit kind of more simplistic, you could say. Obviously, we've seen, I believe, Xertion get added to the Mouse roster as well. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, JDC, Torzi, and Xertion now kind of, you know, climbed up the ranks and got themselves into the Mouse side. So that's quite interesting to see as well. And then also, we've got some Pious to Ents. I feel like, what are your thoughts with kind of those two rosters and how you think they'll do?
Well, I feel like Xertion's an instant upgrade. I know his roles are very, very similar to Frozen, so chances are Xertion's going to take a bit of a hit in terms of the role department, which, I mean, Frozen played a number of different roles, to be fair, under Carrigan, so there's a good chance Frozen changes up a bit, but it'll be disappointing to see if Xertion's just the one taking the major hit. But in terms of some players, I do like the roster move, especially obviously with Valde as well. I feel like Valde is a player who hasn't hit his peak form in a while. And I feel like if he can do it, I think Ents can go straight back to challenging those finals. And I feel like some Pious as well is a real top AWPer. Issue is for me is he's never been on an English-speaking roster. It's always been on Spanish teams. And it's a pretty big change going from your native language to speaking a second language. And it's not obviously understanding the language. It's about being able to quickly communicate the language on a different team in these pressure situations. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. But I think there's some really exciting roster moves. And I feel like after Pro League as well, we're going to get some even more exciting ones.
Yeah, I kind of just brushed past Valde there, really. It kind of completely slipped my mind. Obviously, we are going back.
Wasn't the marquee player in it?
Oh, no, definitely not. Sunpie is certainly the one to watch. Obviously, this was a little while ago, but I'm going to mention this before the heat gets up in this one. Wonderful to Spirit. What about that one?
We casted him. I forgot what team he was on before. I remember we casted him before he joined Spirit, and he was a very good-looking player. We watched him and thought, yeah, he's going places. Definitely, yeah, he is. And obviously, he's so young. So yeah, I think it's going to take him a bit of time. I think he's very inexperienced right now, so give him some time. But I think there's no reason why he can't be approaching that Monacy level and eventually getting right there at the top. But still early days for him. Good looking round. All 5 players surviving. Only 20 points of damage taken from VP Prodigy. And they're definitely bringing this scoreline closer and closer.
I'm just trying to think about what Team Wonderful was on. Because obviously Wonderful was on Hellraisers for quite some time. Well, I say quite some time. About 3-4 months. I don't think it was Hellraisers. Drawing somewhat of a blank, but VP Prodigy, as we saw in that last round, they did find success here.
Yeah, Wonderful was on Hellraisers, but I think that must have been the team.
No, it wasn't. It was in the like interim. I think he was on a team that wasn't on HLTV. I think Liquipedia might be the one to watch.
Perhaps. Yeah, it might have been maybe a mixed team he stood in for. Yeah, not sure. Only 17 though. I was looking at him for like... Yeah, I think I'm 4 years older now. I mean, I still say I'm 3 years. I still pretend I'm 20.
8 times worse as well.
Honestly, that's generous. I'll tell you that. That's a compliment for me. Yeah, unbelievable that these players are getting so good so young. And I feel like the thing that's exciting about this stage of CS is you're getting these really young players who are joining these top teams. And I feel like we're watching them, a few of them in these leagues. We're watching some of these really young players who give it a couple of years, they're going to be on these really top teams.
I can't wait for it, really. I feel like it is going to be a great sight to see when...
Oh,
that is a lovely boost.
Timing looked disastrous for Fen2k, but perfectly looked back. And Castle with the AWP, 1 versus 4. But Fred, VP Prodigy are really coming into their own now. If they win this one, which certainly looks like they will, this will be 4 in a row from them. Intilio will be forced onto a half buy. We could potentially see that extend to 5 for VP Prodigy.
Looks a little bit rough, but Castle will be able to find one. Obviously, the bomb at the grass of VP Prodigy, and with 9 seconds left, we all know where this round is going. So VP Prodigy got themselves in a nice position here.
Obviously, Castle saving the AWP is going to be just something for him to wield in the next round alongside the likely deagles and armor of his teammates. Yeah, desperately needing to see a change here from Incilio. It feels like they've just sort of burnt out a bit, ran out of gas. It feels like they felt like they've done all the hard work and they can just breeze to the finish line, but you definitely can't do that against a team like VP Prodigy. They'll fight you to the very end.
It's your dying breath, really. Even if you are at that touching distance away from closing out yourselves, VP Prodigy, they've always got something in the locker.
Great way to start things off. Fen2k finding Xanta. Castle could get spammed here.
Waiting for the boost, but it's not come through yet. Oh, seemingly perfect lineup there, but Result will be able to find it. Pip and Zigga all that remain here.
Yeah, the AWP can't even be retrieved, so that saved weapon having no impact in this round. Be interesting to see if VP Prodigy decide to pick it up and go double AWP. I feel like they probably won't, just because what's working for them right now is been working very well. These last 4 rounds, the best Incilio have been able to find is 2 kills. So I feel like you wouldn't want to add something like a double AWP in the mix, because it can completely change the sort of tempo that you can play your CT side, especially if a second AWPer hasn't got that much confidence. They might just play far too passive, and yeah, it can really change the game in a bad way, really. But this one right now, VP Prodigy haven't taken a single point of damage. In fact, they do lose a life. In fact, Pip's doing a great amount of damage. 2 kills with just the deagle in the 5 versus 1. That's not bad at all, but VP Prodigy do find 11. 2 rounds separates these teams.
In a game that looked so destined to go the way of Incilio, VP Prodigy, they've done a great job to bring this one back, and we could be seeing overtime here, Charlie.
I think it was Gucci Squad. This is out of nowhere. I think it was Gucci Squad.
No, I don't think so. I want to say it was a team like... It's tough, but I don't think it was Gucci Squad.
I think it was Gucci Squad.
You sure? Because I'm the one that inputs the... I don't remember ever putting that team name in the title.
Well, I used to do a lot of titles as well, so you never know.
You never know.
I've done them less recently. That's all be on you. Important round though for both teams.
It's a good team name.
Really, really crucial hit. I mean, the fact that if VP Prodigy lose this one. They do have money, but instead they will finally break that sort of momentum, break that streak, and find 14. And Cilio failed to convert. They'll be back on the half buys, and Fredby can be leveled up here.
And that's kind of the dangerous thing here for VP Prodigy, because although they've looked great here on the CT side, realistically, 1-2 rounds, and it's, you know, potentially broken their money and their mentality. So we definitely need to see them keep going here. All 5 players here for Incilio lined up outside B. The rotations are going to be fairly slow as well. Obviously, Lomit can get in pretty quick, but now the flashes come through, and it is going to be this B pop sending it up ramp, and the timing on Resol swings really important. Can't find anything yet. Has been blinded, but the Molotov will keep them back for now. Secondary flash being thrown. Ooh, Resol in a perfect position here. Will get taken down. Castle finds Fen2k as well. Castle again, 1 versus 2. Consistently in these clutches. Minimal time remaining.
Getting this bomb down. Lomit is going to be very quick on this. Castle was aware, but couldn't fire the shot in time. And VP Prodigy do find 12. And the interesting thing is, I was going to point this out. On that exec, VP Prodigy, I think they had 1 or 2 pieces of util directly on those B players. And Incilio had plentiful. They had more than enough to take that site, but it was just far too slow. They allowed rotations to come in and use some of their util. Lastic had 4 util, and the rest of the team, I think, had 1 kill combined. And Lastic was in donut. The fact he was able to rotate in, use his util to delay is pretty unbelievable.
We had a smoke for the Molotov there, but it just didn't get thrown, not early on. I feel like if they initially bursted with those first set of flashes, that round was theirs. I feel like slight hesitation could be a real costly factor for them, but not in this round. Incilio get a nice double. Lomit does take down Xanta though, so man advantage still here for Incilio, but the health certainly not perfect. 3 players have been chipped down. Pip currently being held here. Oh, that's a great find.
Smoking off Latic. We might be seeing a save unless this nade connects. It does. That could give them a bit of hope.
I feel like it would be a tough retake anyway. Oh, this kill could start things off though. Data just backing away, getting himself out of harm's way.
Point out the money isn't great for Incilio. Like, these kills are going to do a lot. If they can find 1 more, Incilio are going to be playing with Galils. Or potentially AKs with no util at all. Obviously the money for VP Prodigy. Yeah, but the bomb plant, you don't get anything for the win. Only the bomb. Yeah, only the bomb planter gets an extra 300. So, and they've all gone. Yeah, look at that money. 4 of the players are under 4k.
Yeah, this is not looking great. Obviously they have found a round, but was it worth it? Definitely disagree.
It is interesting. I mean, the strange thing about CS in terms of that whole bomb plant is it's weird to think you can get a better buy with a loss than you can with a win, which is very strange, but it's how the game works. I suppose it keeps it close.
It keeps it close, keeps it ready, but Lomit certainly not keeping this round close. He finds 2 towards middle. Cheerful as well finds a pick 2, and instantly VP Prodigy gone straight back to their winning ways. Castle finds Resol though.
Yeah, this is looking disastrous here from Incilio. Just the fact that the finances really weren't there after losing all those kills. It feels like 14 already, I'm saying it. It feels like it's a guarantee for VP Prodigy.
Really interesting to even think about. VP Prodigy was so far down in this one.
Incilio went on such a big streak that it did look like things were going to be going their way.
I love that double donut setup. All holding the angle, AK awaiting for the A swing.
It'd be interesting to see if we see something actually probably fast. I feel like strangely, this has been a game that's been played very, very slowly. Both teams, in fact, played it very slowly. It's not like one team's just got more of a passive playstyle. I feel like both are really playing the long game here. This one could be the faster. We see 3 techs, a P250, and a Glock.
Going to be exploding out here towards B. Result will be able to find one cam back away as well. Fen2k can find a frag. Oh, but the flash is good. Result finding 2 more, and it's all on Castle now.
Castle with a Glock? He just straight up found cheerful. That's pretty impressive there. Castle does have an M4. Doesn't obviously have the bomb. So this is going to be such a tough setup to break.
Especially because all bases are covered here. Latic holding for this ramp aggression. We've got to play it already in cave. And then obviously Lomic holding for this CT flank. There isn't really anywhere that Castle can go.
It's a really nice setup. I feel like this is one you've got to remember. And you could even mix things up. Have the player not in cave and just hold in from in front of Latic. Holding in that little cubby. Just depends how you want to play it, but it's a really nice setup.
I feel like the cubby play probably would be better because obviously Result is completely isolated here. He does get
Just
taken
like
down.
that. Information's being gained though. Well, mate, you don't want to get too aggressive. You don't want to give him another 1v1. Well, no, this would be a 1v4 if Castle can do it. Issue is the lack of armor. Oh, timing almost looked perfect there for Castle. Looked like he could have found Latic, no problem. Latic played that really dangerously, but it did work out. And 14 is on the board now, Fred.
It's all leveled up here. Obviously, this could be the final buy here for Encilio. If they aren't successful, the money isn't going to be perfect whatsoever.
Yeah, whereas on the side of VP Prodigy, even if they lose, they'll be able to scrape together a buy. Have that Latic and Lomic, they've got a nice amount of money. Result will be able to get a buy. Really crucial round for both of these teams. We've had a couple of these pivot rounds. I think it's fair to say this is the most important. Xanta brought down very low, 19 points of health. A game that if you asked me 10, 15 minutes ago, I would have said this one's Encilio's dead to right, but Result's making it change favour VP Prodigy. They've looked so good at the latter edges of this game.
And seeing as it was Dad to get taken down, Xanta's still alive on this 19 HP. And now the util comes over towards B. Encilio going to try and pop out here. Result towards Cave. We'll be able to find Pip. And Xanta still alive and kicking.
Counter utils coming through. Flashes are good, but no one's directly swung on them, and there's no need, and your spams are that perfect. It's all on Zigga Zagga. All 5 players survive. No kill reward even for Encilio, so that all they've got to play with is the loss bonus. Castle luckily had a bit of money in the bank, so he can... I mean, he can get an AWP, I suppose, but no armor. And we've seen the util damage for VP Prodigy. It's such a risk. We've got Galil's AK on pit with no util. This could be it, Fred.
Something to mention as well, Charlie. For the last 10 rounds, VP Prodigy, they've won 9 of them. It'd be devastating for them if they couldn't close this one out now.
I believe it was a 13-6 scoreline for Encilio. Oh, Castle is really tempting fate. Just this chip damage to util. The lack of armor has made things really tough for him.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate here. Obviously, as we mentioned before, Encilio certainly were the ones in the driver's seat initially here on Ancient. Now they're the ones that are struggling. Ooh, tag from Castle there. Nice find from Fen2k. Does take down Castle.
That's aware of that flashbang. Turning on the train on Fen2k. Result 1 point of health. This round's still up in the air. Result does get found. Overtime could be on the cards as Xanta finds Cheerful.
Nice find from Lomic though. Oh, even more damage onto Xanta. Dadta holding this one, but it's all on Lomic. Completely alone. And as we mentioned, we are going to overtime here.
Yeah, finally, Encilio are able to find one last round just to keep them in this game. VP Prodigy, you've got to think though, they've done all that work. Can they carry through that momentum?
It would be devastating if they do lose it here in overtime, because obviously they battled back massively to get themselves here. As you mentioned, they were 13-6 down.
Overtime is really going to be the interesting part of this one. BP Prodigy do have more overall kills than Incilio, but it doesn't matter when you're on the same amount of rounds. It's not really going to mean that much anymore.
The only really important stat is the dub at the end of the day, really. So VP Prodigy remaining on this CT side. But as I mentioned, VP Prodigy winning 9 out of the last 11 rounds. It was so unfortunate because they looked great on that CT side there. And when it came down to it, when the pressure was to the max, that's when they did crumble. Lovely fight.
Kicking things off nicely again. Result, bit of a risk, but perfect trade. Needed trade.
Another smoke there towards B.
Yeah, they might not expect Pip here because of it. Pip could actually fully push out towards B. Incilio are very heavily favoured going towards this A-bomb site, B-bomb site, sorry.
Yeah, the lone defender just being Result. Just flash to his name.
Just silently creeping out. Does get found, and Pip finds the second. Money can actually be a bit of an issue here on overtime. So we might be seeing the CT save. Yeah, they are. Classic will get enough money to buy next round, but the round after, if they lose it as well, can be very challenging. A lot of the time you see in overtime, teams bring out double AWPs because you've just got plenty of money. You can sort of get a good double AWP setup going, and it can always be great. But if you lose that round, and even if you just lose one round, the AWPers can struggle to buy. They can sort of barely get an M4 out. And then after that, money's completely gone. So yeah, these overtimes can be really risky.
I think that's why Castle's making sure he does keep the AWP here. Although winning the round, I feel like there's no point giving any equipment away. Especially the big green.
Yeah, it's a bit less punishing on the T side, but you definitely can find yourself in a similar situation. Resol's going for an early kill again. Does find onto Xanta.
Great opening pick there from Result. Taking a lot of aggression.
Smoke towards this B main will isolate these two other players. Sort of force them back for now. Deny them any vision of how much ramp control's been taken, so they might have to use their own util just to clear it. Lomic is out towards mid, and there's two players going to be facing him. Off angle was good, but not good enough for Castle.
Obviously, he has been chipped down to 11 HP, but not going to be the biggest of problems when wielding the AWP.
You're level once again. Very split defense here from BP Prodigy. Once again, instantly we're heading towards this B-bomb site. I mentioned they love to favour this one. Clearly, this is where they like to go, but yeah, we haven't really seen too many gambles or too many stacks towards B from VP Prodigy. The nade could be good. Castle does get found. Molly dropped as well. Just the kill indicating that Castle's being found means to rest out there's going to be more players there.
Timing on the molly as well is perfect. It will delay them. Result dodges the flash. They know about Latic on the bomb side, but Result's still hidden.
Flash is good, and Data does get found. I thought he was going for the orb. I thought we were going to see the double orb set up, but no. All level again, though. I feel like if Incilio can find 2, they could take this one.
Yeah, they could
They obviously had a good. They had a good CT side themselves.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. I feel like winning the 2 rounds on the T side definitely gonna be the dream.
It sort of could be for anyone, really. Oh, Data, so low HP. Two players in cave. And the Orb of Latic is holding from the right side.
Oh, that is lovely from Xanta. A very creative way to find a frag. Nice trade there from Castle. Man advantage now here for Incilio.
Yeah, Data's now wielding the Orb. Obviously, he got chipped down very low, very early still, even though he's not the Orb, but putting up numbers. Latic gets found, and Incilio, maybe they could be finding that too. Flash is coming over. Lomic, fully blinded, just gets himself out of there, but 22 points of health is definitely significant.
Data holding the angle, finds the kill as well. All on cheerful now.
Castle just finds him easily. Incilio, they do find 17. They found 9 on their CT side. So, it did feel like one of those situations that potentially we could be seeing just a constant 2 rounds on the CT side, 1 on the T, and just it'd be a long, long overtime. But the fact that Incilio found 2 on the T, it does make you slightly favour them. It's coming into the second half of overtime, but it really puts into question VP Prodigy and Regular in the sort of regulation. Maybe that's when they should have given it their all, done everything they physically can to deny overtime.
And they were the ones who were on match point. Obviously, they battled back massively to bring themselves there, but still, once on that match point, although just for 1 round, they could have closed it out.
Two rounds needed from Incilio. 2 rounds for VP Prodigy. Just to bring us to second overtime. 3 rounds to be able to close this out. Sigasaga finds Lomic, trying to get too aggressive. N2K's done so good to find these kills through mid. In fact, he finds Xanta. Molly forces him to go into cave. Luckily for him, there's no second man there. Pip getting too aggressive. Feels like Incilio just giving away these kills at this point. Finds Result in mid to keep things level. B-site is going to be taken in the meantime. Fen2K still very low HP. There is a nade on Data that could possibly take him down.
But the timing of it not perfect. As Fen2K is still residing in cave.
Look where the bomb is.
It needs to retrieve it.
It's just going to be so long before this bomb gets there. So these smokes, any sort of defensive util thrown from VP Prodigy could really be unraveled. But Cheerful does find the first important trade from Zigazaga. Zigazaga from Castle. And he's pushing for more. Does find Fen2K, and Latic couldn't even make it to the B-bomb site before his teammates were gone.
Yeah, Latic now in the 1 versus 2. Can't get the bomb down towards A. Needs to get it down instantly though. Just needs to take a gamble that there's no defenders here. Going towards big box here. Surely just going to be completely trapped. We got Data going towards main as well. Latic, in fact, has got himself towards Temple, so
That does have a Molotov. I don't believe this is planted for CT.
it's not. Oh, he's been spotted. No reaction there. The bomb can get stuck. Latic. Oh, just faking out. I love this stick from Castle. And there we have it. Although we see VP Prodigy find the kill, we do see Incilio take the round. And now, 1 round away from closing this one out.
So brutal there from Latic. You felt like he did all the hard work. Even with his positioning, still made it work. Sadly, just prayed that he could outplay his opponent, because the AWP is brutal in terms of you miss one shot and you likely will be dead. Incilio, 1 more round required. The nade damage is so substantial, and Fred, just like that,
Surely
3 players fall.
They surely can't bring this one back now. It's potentially too far gone. 2 versus 5.
I mean, Lomic's not even full HP as well. So you can't even make the argument, at least they're all full HP. They got 4 youth to play with. They just don't. They got 4 pieces combined, which is still a solid amount, but
No
the
smokes.
fact that 141 HP, yeah, no smoke grenades can be very challenging to break into a bomb site with just Molotovs.
You say break into a bomb site, they need to retrieve the bomb first. I feel like this one's all said and done. It's all about just the timing here. I feel like eventually it's going to go the way of Incilio.
It will be an absolute misplay if they do fail to convert it with the bomb in their grasps. They know they can't get flanked on from A or B.
And they've got 3 players in mid. Even if they, get an unfavored trade and go 3 for 2, it's still both the opponents dead. Castle's dodging it.
It could be the final attack. Latic misses his shot and does get found by Castle. And Lomic falls soon after his teammate Incilio. After the clutch onto Latic by sticking the bomb, the utility used towards mid was brilliant.
Yeah, it was great there. I feel like Incilio, obviously they certainly look like the team to close it out in regulation, but then they kind of had a little bit of a shaky end. It seemed as though, 13-6, 3 rounds away from closing it out, and then we saw a great comeback from VP Prodigy, but then they were the ones that couldn't close it out in regulation, and then obviously we saw how overtime went just there, but a great game nonetheless, and I feel like it kind of just shows what Ancient and also the SCL can provide. I think you said this a couple times so far this season, or kind of in the SCL in general. I feel like Ancient's the map where you have it all. You have the comebacks, you have the crazy plays, you have kind of everything. It is really just the map of the storylines, and it clearly showed up here today. But what are you thinking after that one, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, we see VP Prodigy fall 0-2, something that I think coming into this and nobody expected. Incilio, though, on the right tracks as they are sitting 2-1. But yeah, like you said, it's a map that I feel like always offers you some good storylines. It always offers some sort of entertainment and some drama about it. Because I feel like at different points, each team definitely could have taken that one. So that's so interesting to think.
Yeah, obviously, you're looking at the kill distribution. I spoke about it quite early on in the game. It's fairly even. It went all the way to overtime. There was obviously a 3-round difference between the teams at the end, but I feel like it didn't really do VP Prodigy justice. They brought it back so well, but they couldn't take it over that final line. But obviously, that was a great matchup. Both of the teams, I say both of the teams, we're going to see, obviously, a little bit of unhappiness from VP Prodigy. Incilio, they are going to be kind of ecstatic with that result, even though it got a little bit dicey for them. But where does it leave these teams in the rankings, Charlie?
Yeah, so after that win is a bit of a disappointing result from some of these teams, but we do see. Oh, it's not actually one to all over me. You're gonna have to give me 2 seconds.
I can do it.
There we go.
Oh, you got it?
No, fully broken for me right now, so you might have to take charge of this one. And now, of course, it's decided to work right now.
Okay, there we go.
Maybe look a bit stupid, but Incilio, they're on 13th now, and considering they had that 0-1 start, that's not bad. Secured themselves in playoffs by a decent amount of spots. It's not too bad at all. They just got to make sure they can try to extend this. We're looking at this sort of top 16 required, 33 teams in the league. We're sort of looking at it and thinking you're probably going to need to go 5-3 to be able to actually qualify. So you've got to go a decent bit positive, and obviously seeding matters as well. So the better you do, the easier your matchups are going to be. On the other side of things, you've got VP Prodigy. Pretty surprising to see them in 30th. I feel
Seems a
like
bit
it's something
weird.
we definitely, yeah, it seems very unnatural to be honest. But obviously, they've only played 2 games. There's still a lot of chance. I mean, there's been a few strange results this season already. Iron Branch, they're 1-1 as
They're
well.
in the bottom half. They're not
Yeah,
even
they,
in
they went
playoffs.
they went undefeated last season. They looked unbelievable, and I mean the fact that they've played in this SCL 3 times and won it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable. So yeah, a few interesting results, but still so much CS left to be played. So many games left. Some of their teams are over halfway through. Some of them have only just begun.
Yeah, I think obviously the season is setting up to be absolutely amazing. Realistically, there's a couple teams that just like VP Prodigy aren't performing as well as we used to, and there's also some teams that really shone so far. Paloma 4-0, top of the whole of the Challenger division, a team that we really weren't expecting to be so strong this season, but I guess they clearly are just feeling it, in these last couple games, and it's clear to see why. But obviously that has been it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you are enjoying the SCL League, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch and also the Twitter so you guys can get those updates about what games are being streamed and how the season's going so far. But that's been it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for plenty